Amelia Barranco in formative speech. So who in here has heard of Amelia Earhart? Okay, so you guys don't know. So the first woman, she was the first woman to fly across, the first woman pilot to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. She is also known to have mysteriously disappeared while flying across the Pacific Ocean. So Amelia Earhart was a great part of the American aviation history. As American citizens yourselves, I believe you guys should all be informed about this historical figure. So as a young woman, I have always looked up to female historical figures. And I believe, so when I came across the story of Amelia Earhart, I was amazed and I was eager to learn more about her life and her accomplishments. The purpose of this speech is to explain the story of Amelia Earhart as a pilot for her dreams, courage, and milestones as well. First, I will share her early life, then I will discuss her major accomplishments, and finally her conspiracy theories and disappearance. So who was Amelia Earhart? So in order to get a better understanding of who Amelia Earhart was, let's first take a flashback to her childhood memories or experiences, and then I will explain her inspiration to become a pilot. So Amelia Earhart was born on July 24th, 1897 in Atchison, Kansas. Her parents were named Amy Otis and Edwin Stanton Earhart, and she had also a younger sister named Muriel. Amelia Earhart would primarily live with her grandparents, but she would go to school only with her grandparents. Her school year she would go live with her grandparents, but then during the summer she would go live with her parents in Kansas City. But despite her grandparents' disapproval, Amelia Earhart would enjoy going outdoors, climbing trees. She was more like a tomboyish, you can say. So, and she was just simply using her imagination most of the time. So, according to an article on Public Broadcasting Service website, in 1908, Amelia rejoins her parents in Des Moines, Iowa. She sees an airplane for the first time at the Iowa State Fair and later recalls being unimpressed. It was a thing of rusty wire and wood and looked not at all interesting. It was not until a decade later that a stunt flying exhibition that Amelia Earhart's passion for flight is awakened. Now that you have a better understanding who Amelia Earhart was as a child, now explain her inspiration to become a pilot. According to an article on the bibliography website, at a Long Beach air show in 1920, Amelia Earhart took a plane ride that transformed her life. It was only 10 minutes, but when she landed, she knew she had to learn to fly. So Amelia Earhart was determined to accomplish this dream. So that's when she began to having all these different types of jobs, from photographer to truck driving, until finally being able to earn all that money that she was able to pay those flying lessons. So these flying lessons were received by this woman named Anita Snook. But Amelia Earhart was fascinated with learning anything that had to do with flying, so she would spend most of her time in the airfield. So now that we have finished discussing about Amelia Earhart, who Amelia Earhart was and what inspired her, now we'll explain her major accomplishments. So there are many accomplishments that Amelia Earhart was proud of, I'm pretty sure. But first I will describe her minor ones, and then I will move on to her major one of her flying across the Atlantic Ocean. So Amelia Earhart is remembered for her vision, courage, and her achievement as an aviation woman. She was a motivator to other women to try many new things, including the study of aviation. One will become inspired by the achievements of Amelia Earhart. If it was not for her, no one had dared to become if it was not for her dare to become a pilot, women would not have dared to try new things that were thought of only being for men. Amelia Earhart's accomplishment is still motivating women today, as women continue to challenge themselves to try new things that are thought of being only for men, because they are also equal and capable as men. Amelia Earhart was not only a role model in the 20th century, but not only was she satisfied with that, but she was satisfied by able to support the women's rights. So now that we understand her major influence in the 20th century, her major influence during the 20th century, let's move on to her major accomplishment of her flying across the Atlantic Ocean. So in 1928, Amelia Earhart was first invited to fly across the Atlantic Ocean as a passenger with pilot Wilmer Cutts and co-pilot Louis Easton Gordon. This flight technically made her the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, but she wasn't satisfied because she was just laying there like a sack of potatoes. That's what she referred herself, because she really didn't do anything. She wanted more thrill in her life. So then, according to an article from HistoryNet website, to dispel rumors that Earhart was not a skilled pilot but merely a publicity figure created by George P. Putnam, they began planning a solo transatlantic flight from Harper Grace, Newfoundland, to Paris, which would make her the first female to fly across the Atlantic. However, due to mechanical issues or problems, it was a must for her to land in Londonderry, Ireland, rather than Paris. But her achievement gave her great was worldwide. She was worldwide known. So, now that we have discussed her major accomplishments, I will now move on to explain her mysterious disappearance. Oh wait, that was her last one. And conspiracies. So it is unbelievable how many people now, even until now, they still haven't like been able to figure out why she disappeared or how she disappeared or what happened to her. It's like all this crazy thing. So it was near her 40th birthday when she decided to begin her great adventure of flying around the world. It was in the year 1937 when she decided to take initiative of her flight across the Pacific Ocean. And without her knowing, she was destined of it being her last flight. So on June 1st, 1937, Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan departed for Miami. And the plan was to land on Holland Island, which is located between Miami and Australia. But according to Jessie Slay, an article from Life Science website, as they near Holland Island, they were unable to make sufficient connection with Itasca or to land on the island. Earhart's last communication was at 8:43 a.m. We were running north to south, so the Itasca began to rescue attempt immediately, and the search continued for weeks, but nothing was found. So on January 5th, 1939, Amelia Earhart was declared legally dead. So according to Jessie Slay from the same article, for a long time they believed that the plane had run out of fuel and the flyer's dish were crashed and they died at sea. Another theory was that Noonan survived on an Iceland for a few weeks and they would live off eating fish and collecting water from rain. But that supposedly Amelia died in a camp and then like Noonan was like destined unknown or something like that. And there's another one where they entered the Bermuda Triangle, which I'm not going to explain that because that's like a whole different speech already. And but yeah, these are like many other conspiracies. But realistically, I don't think no one has really found the real answer of her disappearance. So now that we have talked about Amelia Earhart's early life accomplishments, and mysterious disappearance, I will now conclude the speech. So the purpose of this speech was to explain the story of Amelia Earhart as a pilot and her dreams, courage, and milestones as well. I first discussed her early life experiences and what inspired her to become a pilot. Then I explained her minor accomplishments and major accomplishments, and then finally the conspiracies and her disappearance. But Amelia Earhart was not only a great pilot, but a major role model during the 20th century, and I'm pretty sure now too, well, to me. But it's a shame that her dreams were not fulfilled because of her disappearance, but she left a really great place. Thank you.